I'm Andrew Michael. This video is on how to spice up your drum fills, and we're getting started right now. Hello drummers, welcome to my video. We'll be talking about how to add some spice, some flavor, and uniqueness to your everyday basic drum fill and drum riffs as well. The first fill that we'll be discussing is going to be what I call the descending tom fill. It's very basic, everybody does them, and it's a way to add one extra 16th note at the end of your fill. It just brings it up to the next level. So exercise 1 is going to be an example of the basic fill, and then the next exercise will add that extra 16th note, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here we go. Alright, so this next example is going to be actually adding in, well, you're not necessarily adding in, but you're taking the last two 16th notes of the descending tom fill and adding 2 crashes, and your foot is playing along with your hands on both of the crashes. So I'll give you a couple examples of what I'm talking about. So this next example is more of a riff than a fill per se, and what we're going to be doing is playing 8th notes on our feet and triplets with our hands, so groups of 3s with our hands and just straight 8th notes on the bass drum. And basically what happens is, as you're playing the 3s on your hands, those 8th notes, that 4th 8th note will kind of naturally fill in, so it'll sound, instead of a group of 3, it'll sound like a group of 4, but you're only playing 3 on your hands. It's very simple, and so here's an example of that. This next example is basically a play on the same riff that we just did, only it's going to be using 16th notes on both bass drums and still groups of 3 with your hands. And as I said before, your bass drums, the 16th notes naturally fill in those 4th notes, I guess you would say, onto your groups of 3 on your hands, and it kind of happens naturally without doing anything. So here's the example of that. Alright, so I'm going to give you a demonstration of the next little fill. It's cymbal grabs or cymbal chokes or whatever you want to call them. So I'll give you an example of your basic cymbal choke or cymbal grab, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and the next example is going to be doing the same kind of groove, but we're going to add in your cymbal grabs, but instead of doing them with 2 hands on the same cymbal, we're going to do grabs with one hand on multiple different cymbals. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. I hope you found the information on this video informative and stimulating. If you did, please smash that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Every little bit helps stimulate my growth. Also, shoot me some comments in the comment section. And I hope that through this video you can come up with ways to actually use these techniques that I've laid out for you. And shoot me some comments about different ways that you've used those techniques. I'd really love to hear from you. So thank you again, and see you next time.